All right, continuing on through photoshopping our images using Photoshop. What we're going to do next is go through the menu down here to the bottom left. And if you look, you have your toolbar here, you have a bunch of great tools. But if you hold down this button, if you just kind of hold it down, you're going to come up with all the extra really powerful tools. And it's not a waste of time to go through each and every one of these to figure out exactly, just play around with it and figure out what they do. I'm going to try and narrow it down into a few that are the most powerful or most common, or you might think about when you hear about photoshopping an image. The first thing that we're going to do, if you look right in here under J, you got spot healing, healing brush, patch, content aware move, and red eye tool, and they're all listed under J, and you can cycle through them with the J key. And they're all very powerful, and it's worth the playing with them in order to figure out what to do. But spot healing brush is the most powerful. So when you click on that, apparently the spot healing is very big right now. So you can change the size of it in here, and this is something that you're going to change a lot while you're using it in order to get it exactly where you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and make myself look a little bit younger. One of the jokes out there about Photoshop is doing this sort of thing right here, making it really big, way too big. Let's see, and just kind of like, I want to be really young, and you end up looking like a mannequin. You're just like that. And well, all right, so that's weird, but doing it really big, and when you start to do that, you'll notice that it just takes everything away, and so you really don't want to do that. The next thing that it's good to know is this history bar over here is really useful when you're doing this sort of thing, and you can see you're doing those big changes, that's not what you're looking for, So again, you want to go in here and kind of zoom in on what it is that you want to fix, and you want to be really careful about overdoing it. All right. So you come in here and it takes a sample from around the area, and it tries to make it look as good as it can. So you want to really do just a little bit at a time. And I'm trying not to take away every wrinkle and every feature, but just enough. Okay, so that. And there is a little art, there is a little experience and skill to make sure that you're not doing too much, but with just a little bit of effort, you can see the difference. And it still looks relatively realistic. And so you can take a lot of blemishes out. Even though you're zoomed in, you might be able to see it, and if you look at right here, you can see it kind of cleans things up. It still keeps the lighting and the skin color, skin tone, and everything pretty realistic. All right, so that's one way to do it. You can have a little bit of fun with this, but you can also, there's a lot of those sort of things that you can fix in here. Maybe I don't want gum on my sidewalk, so yeah, there we go. And it's a very large picture. Let's see if I can get rid of the leaves. Yeah, and so I can go through here and quickly just kind of clean up. And as you do this sort of thing, along with creativity and now, you know, this one would be a little bit more difficult to do. But as you can see, I got the gum all cleaned up. I got discoloration all cleaned up. And it ends up being a better picture for my website. So that is how the spot healing brush works. And it, like I said, it can be a, you know, real powerful tool. One thing about this history tab is if I want to keep this and I want to be able to go back to it quickly, I can create a snapshot and it's going to put that up top so I can see the difference, and I can adjust things again and see which version is better. So you can keep snapshots in order to go back and save the picture that you want, or do different versions of the same picture in that way. So that's kind of another handy tool here in the history bar. All right, another tool that is really important, close to the tool we just used, is getting rid of redeye. Here's an exaggeration to make a point, but anytime you have a photo that, because of the flash, creates redeye, they do have a very specific redeye tool. You click on that and you click on the redeye and it takes it away. So that's pretty handy, and it's pretty quick and easy to use. So that's something else that you are going to want to know how to use, is that redeye tool. Be aware that it exists. All right, now we're going to use the patch tool in order to remove Miss Lady here. And so we'll go up here. You've got your spot healing, but sometimes you want to patch an entire area. So we'll select patch tool and we'll kind of go over the area that we want to fix, like that. All right, now the next step, once you have it selected, you're going to want to click inside the selection and drag. And you're going to want to be really careful about how you do this. And it works a whole lot better with some things than others. But in this case, no, we just drag up to find an area that we want to sample in order to patch this area. And when you deselect it, you can see that, I mean, you can kind of see that, and there's more adjustments. You can blur it, or you can smudge it, or things of that nature. But what you will notice is as you zoom out, you know, and you're looking at this entire picture, that's not really what your eyes are going to go to. If you knew it was there, you're going to be able to see it, but people who didn't know that was there in the first place aren't going to be able to see that that happened. And like I said, you could go in with some of these other tools in here in order to adjust it to your liking, but you can see that pretty quickly really solve the problem. Another way that we can do that is with the content aware move tool, and that's if we want to move something and pay attention to the content behind it. All right, so we'll have a little bit of fun with this. You know, let's say I want the Washington Monument to not be located exactly there. All right, what we can do is identify the object that we want to move, and then we can drag it over and it'll pay attention to the background and understand, and it's a pretty cool tool. So content aware move tool, let's give it a try. That. And we'll move it over to some there, and we'll tell it to think about it. Much better. Deselect, turn it off, zoom out, and we just moved the Washington Monument. All right. Anyhow, I want you to notice how it actually rebuilt some trees here for us, and it removed the building. So that's pretty cool. Do that. This one appears to be a little bit too far back for my liking. So maybe you want to move it forward and line it up a little bit. That. Tell it to think about it. Deselect. And you'll see how we straightened up that picture. And again, we wouldn't do this to Arlington, for instance, but if you had just another marketing picture and something out of it seemed out of place, you can see how you can easily move that picture and make things lined up and make things look pretty good. So that's a really good tool to use. So this is something you can use on every picture. This is something you can use every time that, and it's a filter for Smart Sharpen. And again, we're looking, again, playing with all these is worth your time. But going down to Smart Sharpen, and you can get a preview, and you can make these adjustments if you want. But really, just doing that on every picture, let it think about it, let it work, let Photoshop do its job. And you can't see that much of a difference in this picture, so you can make some adjustments. But if you zoom in, I like Gaussian blur. Thinking about it. And again, zoomed in, it makes it look a little weird, but what you can see a difference in the trees. You can see a difference in the monument, and it just kind of sharpens out a lot of the natural blur that your particular camera might get. So this is something that you can do really quick to make your pictures look a whole lot better. Okay, and along those lines is a camera shake reduction filter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, and I want you to show you two pictures I've taken. Here is yellow leaves, here is green leaves, and if you can pretty quickly look at it and see the difference between the two. And this is a decent example of camera blur. I guess I was holding the camera a little bit more still here than I was here. And so if you go in here and you go to filter and sharpen and you go to shake reduction, and just so you know, you can click this button right here to undock, and you can put it over where you're looking. And again, you can change the blur trace amounts, and you can change the smoothing. Play with this until your heart's content to find out exactly how to adjust things. But in this case, I think if I hit OK, you're going to be able to see that blurriness kind of get taken away a little bit. And if I zoom back out, it doesn't look as photoshopped, if you will. People that didn't see the original wouldn't know the difference. So all of these are quick and easy adjustments and filters that you can use on Photoshop in order to really clean up your pictures, remove problems or parts of the picture that might not look very good, line things up. You can move entire objects around, you can remove things, and Photoshop does a really good job of with its engines in recreating the background or the surroundings or whatever in order to make that picture look a whole lot better and really add your creativity to what you're trying to do.